Spring, this isn't 65 days, you're right, episode 7 isn't ready yet, but I still needed to post this week so you get speed paints. Speed paints of what you may be asking. Well, I'm working on a game and most of the base coding is done, but none of the scenes are, and I need those. Also, yes, it is on Scratch because the colors and block-based code is easier for me to understand. What's this game about, you're probably asking? Well, it's hard to say without spoiling the plot. It's a fetch quest style 2D game that is currently planned to have a story mode and a free play mode that you can unlock after playing the story. I haven't planned how much more the free play will have to offer other than all areas being unlocked from the start. I've thought of adding more characters, especially ones with diverse skin colors, because currently the cast is all very white and I can't entirely change that for lore reasons and references used for the characters. I half want to do this for inclusivity's sake, but also because basically all my white characters have the same skin tones, so when I digitally draw all the characters I don't want to be doing the same thing over and over. But even though currently it isn't diverse in the color front, it will be very diverse in the LGBT front, because if it's going to be made by a queer person, all the characters gotta be queer too, even though none of them have my identity. I haven't thought of any dating in the game yet, since the main character you play as is Spec and is basically an AQPR from the start, but maybe matchmaking could happen in free play, though I don't want to overwhelm myself with expectations. I've wanted to make this game for a year or more and wanted to code in general for even longer. I'm unsure how good it will be or when it will come out. The only expectation I gave myself was to get it done by me and my girlfriend's next anniversary in April. I feel like it's achievable as long as I get the art done. Speaking of the art, I should talk about it. I use Speedpaint X and this area I'm drawing is probably the second biggest lore area, so there's not much I'll say. It's a construction zone. It's right next to the start, but you have to go to the furthest spot on the map to get into it. Basically it's the main quest of story mode. Okay, there really wasn't much I could say about the art. It's just backgrounds. I didn't really expect this to be so hard. I guess it's harder because I have to type it out and I can't just incoherently ramble. I like those types of videos, but they are very much not my content. If you're wondering why I chose this style of game, I can probably only explain the 2D model, which, I chose that because 3D would be too hard. Okay, we're on to another drawing now, which has basically no significance. I think I'll put a family in there for free play, but there's no story to it. I think that's all I can say now, so let's get on to talking about 65 days. So firstly, let's state the obvious. It's been week. I have been working on the video. I have 2 days to edit and 1 to actually film. I've already been given a few assignments in the first week, but don't worry, I am doing my schoolwork. I have ADHD, so I use the mentality of follow the serotonin, which recently has been working on my game. That doesn't mean I don't like 65 days. I don't like all the little bits of it, but I enjoy it as a whole. I want to play the final version of Daigaku Gurashi, but I definitely shouldn't be starting another thing. I do wish more people played how I did, actually pretending to be the character instead of switching in and out, but I think that's a little too much to ask since there isn't many people filming and playing it in general, which is really sad. It deserves more coverage than it gets. I've watched most of the gameplay I've found when 65 days first started, which was why I had the motivation to do it so fast, but now I listen to other games when I work and it's normally games I have, so I want to play them instead. So if you have anyone that has a playlist of Daigaku videos, then please tell me in the comments. I'd watch my own series, but then I'd be upset with myself for it not being done. Let's circle back to how YouTubers play games. This isn't targeted at anyone or any game, it's just something I noticed a lot. When YouTubers are playing a new game, they don't tend to use a lot of problem solving, or they get really angry then understand what happened a second later and laugh it off. Yes, first impression videos can be nice, but surely you'd want to try at least a little bit of a test run. Also, getting really mad at games is something I absolutely don't understand, even with rage games. Maybe I internalize too much, but if something is frustrating me, I leave it alone, or close the game, wait a second then go back to it, or even just stand up for a few seconds. I think any small buffer or break can make any game more enjoyable if it's frustrating you. Now I get that with online multiplayer games you can't just pause or abandon your team, so I would recommend taking a break once the round is over. There's your anger management tips with Spring. Next, I could probably talk about the characters in my YouTube banner. So there's Brandy, my clown persona. He most likely has the same identity as me, but really he only has one confirmed pronoun being he. why is Brandy a clown? Because I love clowns and I wish there was more clownish stuff in Daigaku Gurashi. It would make sense though since Japan has a pretty low coulrophobia rate from what I've heard. So if anyone knows how to make custom assets for Daigaku, I'd love to know. Because you know, I don't want to ask Yami Toast to do more work, I can appreciate all he's done. Another quote-unquote character in my banner is the pitch black glitchy thing. There isn't lore to that, I just wanted 4 characters but didn't have another one to put there. I'll change it when I start a new series. Of course there's AI, which I assume everyone watching this knows unless this is your first video of mine you're watching, which if so, hi hello, I hope this is enjoyable. The last one you can barely see, her name is Nico Nishi and she was the first character I used for a challenge in Daigaku Gurashi version 0.85. I really wish I recorded it because I loved all the characters. The challenge I did was one I made up, the 100 rep challenge. The main goal is to get the achievement of every student having 100 reputation. Additional goals were to have 1200 reputation and get top marks in all subjects. I completed the additional goals but not the main one because there were 2 characters that absolutely hated each other. The challenge ended with Nico dead because I had never played far enough to know you had to pay bills and used all my money on food, so she went into debt, and if she worked it raised her depression, and then I still couldn't buy food so she went to bed starving, which raised her depression, and she didn't get to 100 energy so she worked less, which made getting out of debt impossible, and it was just a vicious cycle. Which is why I and probably any future characters have the pickpocket trait, because Nico scarred me. I loved playing her saves so much. I have a copy of it from the day she died. Also her boyfriend was a tsundere and never kissed her until the day she died on, but the kiss isn't registered in the code because it didn't save the day. Also I did finish the challenge and I don't plan to it again. I used the same characters but had Nico's sister be the main character. I did it quicker and easier because I'm mad the 2 that hated each other be best friends right off the bat. Okay, so here I'm working on 3 extra outfits for the main character Lilu. For this video I only showed the process of 1 full outfit, which is based of Instagram user at lemjester.spamocpietro. I did get permission to put them in my game and I've shown them this design already. I was thinking of putting Lilu in my YouTube banner but I never did much with her until now, so it didn't make sense. But now she's getting a game, good for her. Lilu already has 38 different with 3 different hairs, 3 shirts and 2 pants. The 3 outfits I'm working on won't have any hair changes or stuff like that, so in total she'll have 41 unique outfits. Which has been a lot to work on, but this outfit felt like the hardest, probably the clips and the fact it had to at least vaguely look like the character it was based off. So, Lilu, she's a ship child me and my girlfriend have had for most likely 6-7 years, long before we were even dating, and then we both decided to date other people for a while as if we didn't have a child together. Geez, ignoring all the signs TSK. Okay, so text-to-speech. Brandon cannot say that word, duly noted. I'm running out of things to say. Remember how I said Lilu is in a QPR from the start of the game? Well, her partner is the ship child of my ex and kind of me, so in year 6 of Australian primary school this girl I'll call Lollipop because that's what she wanted to be called on YouTube even though she has no channel. She was my friend for 2 years at that point and kept passing me notes asking me to date her with the whole tick a box yes or no thing, and sometimes I'd put no but most of the time I'd make a new box that said maybe. Eventually I got tired of it after a week and made a male version of myself, ironic now because I am a male, for her to date. This worked for like a day until the notes came back. I did end up dating Lollipop. It was horrible, 0 out of 10, absolutely would not recommend. But that male me I made has a child with Lollipop and that child is in a platonic relationship with Lilu. I only really use male me to bully him, I don't know why but he is so bullyable. It's nearly the end of the video I see. I'll be genuinely surprised if anyone made it this far. Maybe this was a good video just to put on in the background. I'll probably only do this again if an episode is late, but by next Sunday you should be seeing episode 7. Should we do that thing of whoever made it this far do this? Sure, what's the harm? If you're here type clown in all caps in the comments, or don't. I guess I'll leave you all with some royalty-free YouTube music. Stay safe, stay happy, please subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day.